The Sweet 16 is almost set. The next round of the NCAA men's basketball tournament tips off on Saturday, which means a whole new round of fans from across the country will descend on Indianapolis. And while that's good news for some local businesses, it's raising concerns for businesses as a whole trying to get through the pandemic. Good evening. I'm Amanda Stern. Tino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. Yes, some fear the convergence of fans from across the country will lead to a spike in COVID-19 cases in the coming weeks and the possibility of increased restrictions. WRTV's Cornelius Hawker explains why this situation is a double-edged sword for those just trying to make a living.
I talked to several people who work downtown and they all told me the same thing. This past weekend, incredibly busy. They made a lot of money, but we care about all businesses. So those not downtown might not be directly impacted by all the people down here. However, they could still feel the impact. Here's one of them. At Hero House Comics in Fountain Square, the owner, Mike Rittenhouse, sees the argument for and against having thousands of people in our area for the NCAA tournament.
When I heard that that they were going to do that, I was a little concerned about the pandemic, but I also thought that having a little boost for the city would be helpful.
That boost, however, is limited in scope.
Definitely good for restaurants and bars. The downtown area, I'm sure, is definitely benefiting from it. Other businesses, maybe not so much.
Mike tells me he did have a few more people than usual come through his shop over the weekend. More than likely, people who were out and about for the games. Big crowds filled the Bottle Works district over the weekend. All of this led to the Marion County Health Department issuing a notice of violation for an event at Bottle Works. The health department plans to have more inspectors out than usual over the coming days and weeks in downtown to make sure businesses are following the current public health orders. Mike says there has to be a balance as we continue living in this pandemic.
I think it's important for our country to get back to living and back to some kind of normalcy, but as long as people aren't following the rules and social distancing and wearing masks and getting their vaccines, it's going to take a lot longer for us to really get there.
We know so many people are tired of wearing masks and they just want to see their friends and families. But health officials say if we continue doing what they tell us to do, following the guidelines that are in place, the sooner we'll be able to get back to some sense of normalcy. Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.